Thank you, everybody. I hope you're still bearing with us. I'm the last one, and hopefully it'll be nice and quick. So I'm Joyanne Manning. I am principal with Arup here in Brisbane, and I lead the resources business across Australasia and globally as well. And for those of you not familiar with Arup, we're a multidisciplinary engineering consultancy dedicated to sustainable development. So we work across the built environment, working with our clients and our partners and our collaborators, really to shape a better world and put sustainable development at the heart of everything we do. In particular, the resources business, what I lead, has a real focus around resources and ensuring we treat all resources as something that's valuable. But one of the things that really challenges that is emerging and problematic waste streams. We have been looking at this most recently with a piece of work where we actually worked with Brisbane City Council to look at both emerging and problematic waste streams. And we started with over 27 different materials and waste streams that could either be currently problematic, and you've heard about a number here today already, or that are emerging waste streams, which are something that, that will start appearing within our system, but we have sort of little ability to do anything with. So how do we sort of essentially set ourselves up for the future? I think, interestingly, Pawan, you mentioned the vapes. Quite interestingly, recently there has obviously been the federal ban with regard to vapes, and particularly disposable vapes, but that has been done in isolation of really the system being having sort of any design to basically be able to deal with that. They're now turning up within the waste stream, within the waste infrastructure, and they're causing a major issue. I'm hearing anecdotally that there is at least one fire per day within waste infrastructure, be it other waste trucks or actually within waste facilities, being caused by the disposable vapes. And with, like I said, a very important thing that we get out of our, in terms of the health implications, but done in isolation without sort of the understanding of how we're going to manage these waste streams. So, with regard to it, materials, as I said, emerging waste streams are materials that are anticipated to be introduced into the waste stream and disposed of with insignificant volumes in the future. And then problematic waste streams are ones that are either difficult to handle or manage, pose risks to the environment or to human health, i.e. vapes, but they lack established recycling pathways. We are trying to establish more recycling pathways, but they currently lack them. And we, as I said, we've been involved in this by looking at a number of, doing some research pieces, a number of studies. So looking particularly to problematic waste streams, and we've heard about sort of a number of them here already. Batteries, all batteries are problematic. Anything producing silica dust. So for instance, we've most recently heard about the ban of engineered stone, and that's going to be a real issue going forward. Mattresses, an ongoing, when I came to Australia 13 years ago, I never really ever realised how much of an issue mattresses are, particularly here in Queensland, where we are subject to a lot of weather events, and we actually turn our mattresses over more frequently because of the climate we have here. Some mattresses are extremely volumetric, but and very difficult to do things. And I didn't even think about the idea of memory foam mattresses and the issues that they're now causing. Treated timber is a real issue. Textiles, we've already heard from Anna, the challenges around textiles and the volume, the amount of textiles that are actually within our system, but also the challenges with regard to having pathways for effective resource recovery of them. Carbon and glass fibre, composites, and particularly for councils, car seats are a really big issue, and particularly because they have a lifespan on them, so you actually have to dispose of car seats after a couple of years. Carbon and glass fibre components, a good example is, as I found out recently myself, I have a moped, and you have to replace your motorcycle helmet after 5 years, or if you have any accident. So again, they obviously have textile and composite materials. So looking at, we all understand batteries, but one of the, they pose a really significant issue within the waste stream, and we have poor collection processes too. We are improving, but it's still not overly effective, and they can cause fires. They are the number one cause of fires now within waste recovery facilities. facilities. So therefore, we really need to sort of promote these collection and drop-off points and really encourage, sort of the public and our citizens to take advantage of them. And that's going to really require a much greater increased education and public awareness. In Europe, they have actually done this quite effectively, and I think we have a lot we can learn from what's happened overseas particularly with regard to batteries. We also need to be really promoting, in terms of circular economy, particularly for things like car batteries, much more sort of supply chain relationships from the very beginning, and we're starting to see the likes of BHP and some of the car manufacturers are actually put in relationships from the very beginning. And then with regard to emerging waste streams, some of the really big ones are solar PV panels, particularly where already they're more than emerged, the generation ones that are coming on stream now. Storage, EV batteries, and particularly if we're going to start really increasing household batteries, setting ourselves up for success with regard to that. Some people have heard me talk before about Queensland's energy and jobs plan, and I really challenge that's gone from being an energy intensive strategy to potentially becoming a resource intensive strategy, because essentially they have not really considered what's going to happen, all the materials that are going to be needed and the resources needed for the energy and jobs plan when they reach their effective end of their first life. And then actually another one is artificial coverings, particularly things like synthetic turfs, carpets and composite floor tiles. So we then, as part of our study, we kind of looked at what are the opportunities for improvement, and then potentially some case studies. A couple of examples of case studies, particularly for artificial coverings. In the UK, there is a UK organisation called Innovative Recycling, and they're really looking at sort of they're trying to recover the virgin plastics associated within floor covering. And there's a fantastic carpet manufacturer called Shaw Industries out of the USA, and they aspire to be the first fully circular carpet manufacturing company in the world. And even something as simple is that on the back side of the carpets, they print all the information needed to basically enable that materials to be recycled into the future. Contact numbers, QR codes, what can be done with it, etc. So that education and awareness even built into the product itself is really, really fundamentally important. I think that's it for me. Okay.
Thanks, Joy. And